Hey, I'm going to talk about the taboo topics of veganism and anti-abortion and what are the differences. Now, these are the differences. Now, I'm a libertarian and a vegan. I just believe that animals simply should be left alone. That's it. Simply left alone. That's all veganism is about. We don't consume eggs, not because we care about the egg. We care about the females that are stuffed in tiny battery cages the size of a file drawer. And it takes over a day for just one egg of living in those conditions. And then when they're used up, they're sent to slaughter. The males are also treated horribly. After being hatched, if they're a male, they are thrown in grinders by the millions every month because they will not lay eggs and they don't grow big enough, fast enough for cooked flesh. And they're not profitable. So you have millions of males being tossed into trash, and the females have it worse, a lifelong of living in a tiny, tiny cage called the battery cage. Look up the Highline video on that and the hatchery video. So it's about long-term suffering. Now, vegans also don't do milk not because they care about the milk, but they care about the females who are forced bred over and over again until they're used up, and then they're discarded. And the males are often used for veal. They're tortured in veal crates and then killed for veal. So we can steal the milk. Not your mom, not your milk is the saying. So we are also for alternatives. We have veggie burgers, veggie chicken, soy, almond, coconut milk, hemp milk, and all sorts of other alternatives. We're for solutions. Whereas pro-lifers, as they call it, are not for solutions, like free birth control. Free birth control has shown in Colorado to lower termination rates almost in half. 40%. And it saves taxpayers tons of money. So you're saving taxpayers tons of money in future welfare costs, and you're lowering termination rates 40%. Why are they not for that? Illogical religion. Yes, illogical religion. I probably help their cause more than they do by promoting free birth control, and I tried to work with them on that, but they're against it. Yeah. So we're about long-term suffering. Meanwhile, they claim to be pro-life. They're eating factory farmed, look up factory farm videos, baby back ribs, Chick-fil-A, and veal milk daily. Most of them kill daily. And they're consuming about 37 land animals a year. Mammals, many that suffer just like you and I. And they also pay people to do horrible things to them. Now, I'm trying to make a deal with most of them. I said, look, I'll find 1,000 vegans to agree to never abort. You find 1,000 pro-lifers to simply leave animals alone. Out of dozens and dozens I asked in many public forums and in person, 0 took me up on that offer. 0 of them took me up on that offer, pro-lifers. Win-win situation, they refused it. You know why? Because they actually have to do something. So why should we support you at all? Next, animal agriculture subsidies. They actually do get welfare subsidies. Animal agriculture, factory farms, they get tons of our tax dollars. That's why labor and resource-intensive animal products are so cheap. Yes, it takes about 15 pounds of grains for just 1 pound of meat in return. Most of it is pooped out by the animals. So it's a major contributor to the food waste and world hunger as well. So while millions of people and kids go hungry in the USA, we're feeding most of our crops to force-bred animals. So pro-lifers should be vegan for that too, because they help against food waste, our healthcare system, our environment, and save 37 land animals a year. But they are overwhelmingly against it, such as Paul Ryan, Sarah Palin, and Stephen King of Iowa, who is against any animal welfare, he pushed for ag-gag laws, and supports trophy hunting, dogfighting, cockfighting, and stuff. So these are so hypocritical people. I mean, Sarah Palin has a bearskin rug, and Stephen King and such promote all sorts of trophy hunting, as well as Trump. Mike Pence used IVF against his God's will, even. So they refused that deal. Now, we care about sentient life and long-term suffering, and pro-choice simply, in my opinion, means women can simply remove what they want from their bodies. Just like I said, animals should simply be left alone. women can simply remove what they want from their bodies. If it's viable, it would live. But most are done so early that they're not viable. Most are done very early in the first trimester. I wish animals were terminated then so early. I wouldn't care if animals were terminated early in the first trimester. They could only wish to have that rather than long-term suffering in factory farms. Again, look up a factory farm video like meat.org, meatvideo.com. So again, my belief is simply leave animals alone. Women can simply remove what they want from their bodies. Meanwhile, vegans adopt pets. When we get a pet, we adopt. Meanwhile, like I said, Mike Pence uses IVF. Big proponent of pro-life, uses IVF. There's 450,000 kids and teenagers in the foster care system in the USA. They don't adopt any. Or most of them, obviously, unless if there's not many pro-lifers, because there's 450,000 kids and teenagers waiting to be adopted. And no, it is not hard, and no, it doesn't cost a penny. If you actually cared, you would know that. We went through the process, me and my wife, and I know a lesbian couple who adopted like 5 kids. So what's your problem? What's your excuse? Because you don't want to help. You just want to tell people what to do. You don't want to be for solutions like the free birth control, which saves money and reduces termination rates, because it's a logical religion, which I tried to work with you on it. And yes, pets and people are overpopulated. Yes, pets and people. You can say they can fit everyone in the size of Texas, but you're not going to get if they're 50 stories tall, you're not going to get all the resources from there. You're not going to be able to supply everyone, and it's not sustainable. Meanwhile, we have overfishing. Now we have huge fish farms, commercial fishing with huge trawler nets that are raping the oceans. We have factory farms. We have endangered species of all sorts, mostly from human involvement, and trophy hunters, which any gun conservative nuts support, and I'm a libertarian. We have deforestation. We have pollution of air and land and sea. Look at China, smog-filled highways. We should learn from them about overpopulation. So, meanwhile, all parents get tons of welfare. Yes, all parents are on welfare. Socialist public school systems, huge child tax credits, and thousands of other benefits, which gays pay for, but religious people hate gays, despite them paying for their kids. And adopting. So they should be loving them, because they adopt the most too. So, anyways, I'll extend that offer again. I'll find 1,000 vegans to never abort. You find 1,000 pro-lifers to simply leave animals alone and go vegan. But I know you'll refuse it, just like free birth control, promoting free birth control access, adopting, and such. So those are the differences. Vegans are about long-term suffering of sentient beings. Many of them are mammals that have 99% DNA as you and I. And it's about long-term suffering. I only wish animals could be aborted very early in the first trimester. They even protested Sofia Vergara for having frozen embryos. It's about ideology more than suffering, whereas vegans are about suffering more than ideology. So those are the stark differences. Many of them are trophy hunters, so they need to fix themselves first. Why would we want more people born to just terrorize more species? Millions of more animals in sick factory farms. So while you kill daily, most of us have aborted 0. So stop being flaming hypocrites and fix yourself first. Thank you, and that's the taboo topic of the difference between vegans and pro-lifers or anti-abortionists. And also, most of us never terrorized or shot up, bombed, or arsoned factory farms like they do to women's clinics. Yes. Thank you.